What's up, y'all? So it's most dead most. What's up, y'all? So it's most dead most. Rich people back in that video. Biakowski, Ryan, Ryan World parents finally got what they deserve. Been a minute since we heard about Ryan World. It's been a minute, bro. So I don't know what's going on with this video, but see what's going on with this. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow social media. Gonna pop on the screen. On the road to 500, and let's see what's getting.
Ryan's World made his parents over $34 million at just 4 years old, but now 10 years later their entire empire is crumbling. A multi-million-dollar movie that completely flopped, being investigated by federal authorities for misleading children, and Ryan himself, now 13 years old, making it very clear he does not want to be doing this anymore. So when you look at everything his parents have done, this downfall, yeah, it feels very deserved. So let's break down how Shion and Loan Kaji built a billion-dollar YouTube empire of their own son, and how their own greed slowly destroyed it. So to understand how bad things got, you have to understand how it all began, because it didn't start with greed, at least it didn't look like it. In 2015, Ryan is 3 years old and absolutely obsessed with YouTube. He's been watching channels like EvanTube HD, another channel run by a kid who unboxes toys and plays games, and
I remember that dude. I used to watch him when I was little. I think I had to be like 6, 7 years old or something like that. I don't know. 2015? I don't know what age I was.
tells his mother he wants to do the same thing. His parents thought, why not? So his mother takes him to a toy store, he picks out a Lego train set, they film the whole thing, and for a while the channel grows slowly, nothing crazy, just a family having fun. And then came the video that changed everything. A giant Lightning McQueen surprise egg, packed with over 100 Disney card toys. Ryan's reaction is pure unfiltered excitement, the kind of joy that you genuinely cannot fake at 3 years old. The video goes on to accumulate over 1.2 billion views. Yes, I said that, billion. This genuinely transformed the Kaji's family lives overnight. They went from a regular household in Texas into one of the biggest kid YouTube channels. And this was a very important moment right here, because at this point, Shion and Loan face a choice that every parent in their position has to face. Do you treat this as a wonderful lucky moment that your child gets to enjoy, or do you look at these numbers, do the maths, see the potential, and start thinking about what comes next? And the Kajis made their choice pretty quickly, and took things very seriously. Within months of that video blowing up, the channel's growth became exponential. Brand deals came in, sponsorship offers, merchandise proposals, and Shion and Loan, a structural engineer and a high school chemistry teacher, made the decision to quit their jobs entirely and go all in on Ryan. On the surface, this may sound like supportive parenting, backing your kid, believing in them, but look at what they actually built, and this kind of framing falls apart very fast. They formed Sunlight Entertainment, a full production
God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this probably all like the milestones and stuff like that. All the milestones that we gotta hit to get to this one. Bro, what is this one? Golly, this is the biggest one out of all of them. This one and this one. Low key.
company. At its peak, the operation employed over 30 people. If you think about it, it's very crazy. 30 people on full salaries, benefits, production costs and equipment, a massive financial machine that needed constantly feeding. And there was only one person whose name was above the door, Ryan Kaji, a literal child. At their peak, the Kajis were running more than 10
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 channels. That's 9 channels. Would that be? Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Double count.
channels simultaneously,
That's crazy.
and across those channels they were producing up to 25 videos every single week, which if you really think about it, it's kind of sad. Ryan went from being another ordinary child to a superstar. His whole house and all the rooms were gutted and converted into professional filming sets. Lighting rigs, camera equipment, props everywhere. His home stopped being a home and became a workplace, and his entire life became work. Ryan's daily life, breakfast, playtime, trips to the stores, became content. Everything he did was filmed.
No, Ryan, really the Truman Show, low key. If you really wanted to put it, Ryan, low key, the Truman Show.
And monetized. And at this point, it started to look like Ryan wasn't enjoying the life of a child. His parents were using him as a cash cow. So by 2018, Ryan Kargi was the highest paid creator on YouTube. Not the highest paid child creator, literally the most earned on the entire platform. $26 million in a single year. And he was just 7 years old. And he continued to hold that title again in 2019 and in 2020. 3 consecutive years as the highest earning person on the platform. And this wasn't only from you.
Let me see the competition. Then that's Dan TNM. Yeah, that's Dan TNM. Markiplier. PewDiePie. Don't know who these is. Don't know who is. Do Perfect and stuff like that. But damn, Do Perfect was off by 6. That's crazy.
3 consecutive years as the highest earning person on the platform. And this wasn't only from YouTube. This came from the empire of products that included Walmart toy lines, Colgate toothpaste collaborations, mobile games, Macy's Thanksgiving parade balloon, and many more. But with all these numbers about how much money they were making started coming out, things started to become very weird. Because when you think about it, a $1 billion brand built on a child's face and a child's labor, well, there's no guarantee that this money will ever become his. Unlike child actors in Hollywood, who have had earning protections in place since California passed the Coogan Law back in 1939, child influencers had virtually no legal protection at all. Every single dollar Ryan generated legally belonged to his parents. All of it. Ryan had no trust fund being set aside, and
parents will hit you with some, well, all the money that you're getting is going to the bills, it's going to You got a roof over your head. You got this and that. But dang, why I can't spend my money on some ridiculous stuff? I'm making all this money for videos and videos and videos, and I know you buying me this stuff, but I want to buy my own stuff too. Like, real talk. Parents will hit you with all type of excuses.
Protecting his financial interests. Literally nothing. He was the golden goose, and the cage had no laws around it. And things only continued to get worse. As the channel grew and the business scaled up, the content changed. Because what started as a kid genuinely playing with toys he loved, slowly, quietly shifted into something else entirely. His videos had sponsored segments, brand deals were sneakily added into videos, and products were placed into Ryan's hands. Toys, food items, toothpaste, games, and Ryan would play with them, react to them, endorse them. And his audience, which is of course mostly toddlers and preschoolers between the ages of 2 and 6, had absolutely no idea to understand what was happening. Think about the audience for a second. These are children who still believe in the Tooth Fairy, Santa, and so on. Children who cannot read. Children who literally look at Ryan as a kid just like them. Excited and happy and relatable, trusting him completely. When Ryan picks up a toy and says he loves it, those kids believe him. Then they go to their parents and ask for that exact toy. But the massive problem here was, these ads weren't disclosed. They were built into the play. There was no clear label, no separation between what videos were Ryan actually enjoying something and just an advertisement. And it wasn't long before critics, parents, consumer advocates, child psychologists started raising the alarm that this was not ethically right. And it was potentially illegal. So in 2019, the Federal Trade Commission and the New York Attorney General launched one of the largest digital enforcement actions in American history. The target is Google and YouTube. The charge is violating COPPA, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, by collecting personal data from children without parental consent and using that data to serve targeted advertising advertisements. The fine was $170 million, $136 million to the FTC, and $34 million to the New York Attorney General, the largest copper settlement ever recorded. And it was so big because YouTube knew what they were doing. Everyone knows that these children's channels are watched primarily by young children, but rather than treating those viewers as a protected class they legally were, YouTube served them targeted ads based on behavioral tracking data, web cookies following children across the internet, personal data being harvested from kids who were barely old enough to hold a tablet, all to maximize ad revenue. The ruling forced immediate changes to the platforms. Comments were disabled across children's content, targeted advertising was severely restricted, and crucially, YouTube's recommendation algorithm was recalibrated to stop aggressively promoting kids' channels the way it had been. For the Khaji's, the impact was catastrophic. Loan confirmed it herself in an interview. They lost 70% of their revenue practically overnight.
So after the target ad was removed, our revenue went down by 70%. After just that day. So
what was this day for people that don't have context?
Okay, so the FTC, I guess, prohibited the target ads for the made for kids content from YouTube after a certain point, and
I feel like they should have been did this though, low key, in the beginning. They should have been made a YouTube Kids just for kids, for them to post stuff on the kids and stuff like that. The YouTube is really that came out really like being like for teenagers and adult, like low key. That's what it really was the platform for. So like YouTube Kid really came in clutch for all the kids they really doing. But nowadays, shoot, kids don't even be on YouTube Kids unless they watching Coco Melon and freaking Gracie Corners.
You know, the target ad it takes the big role on the YouTube, and after that point, you know, that's the majority of the revenue, the ad revenue. So after that was taken out from the kids content, yeah, we lost revenue of 70%.
And when you think about it, this destroyed the operation of Sunlight Entertainment. They had 30 employees, multiple channels, and so many production costs. And now overnight, 2/3 of its previous income completely disappears. And this had an effect on Ryan, because this meant the financial pressure went up, which meant they had to pump out more content, take more brand deals, and do literally everything for an extra penny. And around this same time, the Khaji's rebranded Ryan Toys Review to Ryan's World.
So the bad news is there will be no more Ryan's Toys Review. But the good news is that we're still gonna make videos. Yay! We're just gonna change the channel name, and now it's gonna be called Ryan's World. We're changing the channel name because we don't just do toy videos, we do science experiments, and we do challenges like the floor is lava.
It was framed as the channel.
I don't know how many takes that it really took him to do that stuff, like low key. Because I know like child mindset, like they don't take nothing serious and stuff like that. How many takes y'all think it really took them to say all this?
Growing and evolving, but behind the scenes it was more damage control, an attempt to distance the brand from controversy and make it look less commercial. But then came issues that no rebrand or money could fix, because Ryan, he was growing up. The kids who had discovered him at 4 and 5 years old were now preteens. They'd moved on to gaming channels, to social media, and to other content that actually reflected their age. They weren't watching toy unboxings anymore, and Ryan's peers, other kids his age, weren't interested in watching a 12-year-old pretend to be excited about toys designed for 5-year-olds.
One of y'all please tell me why in the freak is Ryan World still making video? If y'all don't recognize who this dude is right here, and yes, I'm saying dude, he's a grown man, I'm gonna show you something real quick.
And this what I'm talking about. This is a prime example of what TikTokers, Instagrammers, Twitter, or any website they do, they would hate on your downfall. Now he's low-key kind of right, because this dude is getting old. They should have been let this channel dead, like not gonna hold you, or try to switch the genre up or something, or let him go do a gaming video by himself or do his own channel and stuff like that. Y'all damn near rich already, so what is y'all need this money? What do y'all need this for? Y'all rich. Y'all have nothing to worry about for the rest of living the lives of generation to generation of time. Okay.
This is him back in 2018. I remember as a kid, I used to see his videos all over the place. I'm like, yo, this little kid's making a lot of money. Bro, he has 39 million subs. And back in the day, he was pulling 2 billion, 1.2 billion, 400 million, 461 million. He was Mr. Beast before Mr. Beast. I recently saw this video on my timeline, and in 2025, he is still making videos. So I went on a search to figure out why. He does not want to make videos, at least from what I've heard. Apparently, bro, his parents is forcing him to make videos, and you're asking why? I'm gonna show you. Lil bro has an estimated net worth of $100 million, and this is probably not even all his money, because you know the net worth doesn't get all your money.
Comments started appearing under his videos. His voice is deeper than mine now. How is he still doing this? Former fans saying they used to be jealous of his life, and now they were grateful to be normal kids. And this continued to platforms like TikTok, where people made memes about him, which got millions of views. And here's the massive issue that Ryan's parents had created. Their entire brand, the merchandise, the partnerships, pretty much the whole channel identity, was built on a specific image, a cheerful, excitable young Ryan. But now that he's grown up, they won't let him change his content or step back and explore his own interests. No, that's too big of a financial risk. They're still gonna make him unbox toys at 13 years old, even though his audience doesn't want to see that anymore and Ryan doesn't want to do that anymore. So what did they do? Well, they pushed harder. More uploads, more recycled content. They began just reposting old videos, running live streams on repeat, and chasing whatever ad revenue was still available from the shrinking audience still tuning in. They even tried new stuff such as gaming content and educational challenges to chase Ryan's older audience, but they were all flopping, pulling a fraction of the views the old content used to generate, with commenters even pointing it out and calling it very forced and cringe. By 2023, Ryan had fallen from 1st to 17th on YouTube's highest earning list, the same list he topped for 3 years running. And everyone could see it. Ryan's world was slowly falling apart, and his parents, rather than acknowledging that, they just kept pumping out the videos. And if there's one moment that crystallizes exactly what Ryan's life looks like behind the brand, it's his podcast appearance. Ryan is the guest. He's been brought on to talk about his life, his channel, his experiences, but watch the dynamic and it becomes deeply uncomfortable very quickly.
Like, Ryan, are you going to keep making YouTube videos, given your interest to be an animator and maybe go behind the camera, like as you get older?
I think I will keep going for a while, yeah.
His parents are there and they do the vast majority of the talking, and when Ryan does speak, which was very rare, he looks at them first in a way that looks like he's asking, is this okay? Am I saying the right thing? And when he's asked whether he enjoys making content, his answer is very careful, of course looking at his parents, and not long until his parents interrupt him. But as you can probably tell by the clip I just played you, what Ryan said in that interview was that the version of his life that he enjoyed is over. He doesn't enjoy playing with toys or unboxing them anymore, and he wants to do something that normal teenagers do. Go play sports, play video games, hang out with his friends, go to the movies, whatever. But publicly, he's not allowed to say that or do that. But guess what? His parents heard all of that, and what was their response? Well, they decided to make a movie. So let's go over the Ryan's World movie disaster, the Titan Universe Adventure. A $10 million budget, major promotional push, with it being positioned as the brand's evolution beyond YouTube. Proof that Ryan's World could compete in mainstream entertainment. Well, long story short, it made $600,000 at the box office, losing $9.4 million.
Is that observe Titan's lair? You need us. She has a point.
How's this
Wow.
point? I'm the big brother, I know best, and I'm in charge.
Theatre staff across multiple countries reported screenings with 0 attendees, not low, literally 0. And by the third weekend, films with essentially no marketing budget were outperforming it. The IMDb score settled at 1.8 out of 10, one of the lowest ratings of the entire year across any film in any genre, and audiences described it as a cash grab that failed to even succeed as a cash grab. It was a YouTube quality production that had no business being projected onto cinema screens. And if you really think about it, it makes no sense. Ryan's World is older, yet they want to make a movie about him opening toys or whatever. And then when you even take a look at the channel analytics, his views have dropped. So now you want to make a movie with a massive budget? Of course it's not going to make money if your YouTube videos aren't making money. And
Ain't they was trying to start doing with the like little brothers and little sisters too? They were trying to recreate some stuff like that. Like I don't know, bro.
This movie was more than just money burnt. It removed any remaining doubt about where the brand stood. This was a public, documented, and irrefutable confirmation that Ryan's World had lost its audience completely, and that his parents were still spending money they no longer had trying to pretend otherwise. But their next move, it was even sadder, and pretty much disgusting. As Ryan began appearing less in content, probably because he was very tired, flat, and going through those normal teenage emotions we all went through, the camera shifted onto his sisters, Emma and Kate. They are 7 years old, and they became the stars of the show, first alongside Ryan and then slowly over time without him. They now have their own animation series, their own dedicated content, and their own merchandise and toys. As you can imagine, the internet's reaction was furious because everyone recognized exactly what they were watching. Ryan had made his parents millions of dollars, and the moment he started showing signs of not being interested anymore, his parents decided to keep the machine going and started using his sisters instead. Same playbook, same house, but just different kids. Comments flooded in saying, "Ryan made you money," and they're already moving on to the next siblings. It's sad, as it seems like this cycle of the Kaji parents using their children will never end. But there was some light at the end of the tunnel, because slowly legislators started acting. Illinois passed a kid influencer protection law in 2023, one of the first of its kind, requiring parents who profit from their children's online content to set aside a percentage of those earnings into a protected trust that the child can access when they turn 18. California followed with its own version of the legislation shortly. Washington State introduced similar protections after. And it's good that these laws were added because it's the exact gap the Kajis exploited. And Ryan Kaji is the reason these laws now exist. His name will never appear in them, but the gap they were designed to close has his story written all over it. And the thing is, Ryan's story isn't new, it's just new in the social media world. But previously, the pattern has always stayed the same. Macaulay Culkin made his parents millions from Home Alone and spent years in legal battles trying to protect his own money. He's spoken openly as an adult about the psychological cost of childhood spent working. You could then look at the Olsen twins. They built a billion-dollar empire from early childhood, and the moment they had legal controls over their own careers, they both walked away from acting entirely and have rarely looked back. There's a lot of these stories, and they all follow the same pattern. A talented child with parents who see an opportunity to make money with insufficient protections, and then later down the line, an adult who eventually has to reckon with what their childhood actually was. Ryan is only 13. His reckoning is still coming. So now you guys might be wondering, where is Ryan now, and what is he doing? Well, the family relocated from Texas to Hawaii in 2021, with Ryan attending a private school. And from what we've seen on social media, his daily life now involves tennis, skateboarding, swimming, and a massive love for animation. He's officially listed as a creative director at Sunlight Entertainment, which in practice means occasional voiceover work and brief on-camera appearances when the brand needs him. And the Ryan's World channel still carries his name, the merchandise and all the toys still carry his face, but Ryan himself seems to be quietly, carefully building a life that exists outside of this social media world. He wants to do animation. He said it multiple times in interviews.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
When I grow up, I want to be like an animator. I think it's really fun to do because like the drawing, and then like at the end you get to see the whole thing and see what you've like worked on the whole time. And like sometimes I can see like the drafts first, and then after I can see like the full thing. And it's really cool to see how it changes over time.
Yeah, you were in the front.
He wants to create on his own a behind the camera series. And honestly, given everything he's been through, that desire makes complete sense. He spent his entire life being directed, managed, packaged, and literally sold. So it makes sense now he wants to do everything on his own.
In general, bro, don't do this to your kids, bro. You then ain't gonna ruin their image or their lifestyle, bro. In general, bro, let your kids live their life, and if they want to be a YouTuber, try to put in a little bit, but don't put too much into what's going on with their lifestyle. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow our social media, pop on the screen. We're on the road to 500. Love y'all, and I'm out.